Hi everyone, it's Leigh here. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to be working on my pages for my Dephemerember journal. Dephemerember is a challenge run by Louisa Heinzel and Barbara from 49 Dragonflies, and it starts in December. I'm going to be making my pages out of jelly prints that didn't quite turn out right, or they're just run-off pages. I saw Quirky Queen's journal, so that's Kirsten from Scotland. She was doing this technique and I loved it so much I thought, well, I'm going to have a go at that and use them in my journal. So I've got a selection of different prints that haven't really turned out very well. So what I'm going to be doing is some stenciling and some splattering of inks and things. So I thought I'd do what Kirsten did, and she used only one stencil, I believe, if I remember rightly. But I found that I just needed to use others. So further on down the line, I end up getting some other ones to use. And the same thing happened with the colours. I wanted to try and use the same colours, but I ended up adding some more colours into my repertoire. So what I've got there is orange and yellow, Indian yellow, sorry, a gold and a metallic purple. So my idea was to first just stencil around the edge of the paper, get rid of some of the white areas, and then see how they look and what needs to be done from that point onwards. So originally I was going to just use all the same colour, so do all the stenciling in that colour and then do all the stenciling in a different colour, but that didn't sort of eventuate. So I start off with this brush, which when I was using it I thought didn't feel right, so I decided to change to a sponge, and then the sponge was just falling to pieces through the stencil. I think the stencil was too rough for the sponge, or I was too rough on the sponge, but it was an old one, and yeah, so I ended up changing back to something else. So that's orange on that particular print, and that one turned out quite nice. When I was watching Kirsten do hers, she was using smaller pieces of paper, so mine are like A4 size, and eventually I cottoned on to the reason why it was taking so long to get a page done was because they were so big, and folded the pages in half then. And I do love that stencil. I've used it so much. It's one of my favourites. So here I've switched to that sponge, and yeah, so it just leaves little crumbs everywhere. So I'm really looking forward to finding or seeing the Dephemerember prompts. They'll be available on the 24th of November, but I can't wait to see what the prompts are. Louisa and Barbara have decorated paper bags for their journals, so they said you don't need to do them, but I think I might just do some anyway, keep them up my sleeve. And now I'm changing to burnt umber, same stencil, and I'm pretty much just working in the corners to start with. Now I've cottoned on to folding them in half. Pages are going to be folded in the book, so why not fold them and then do them. So here I am, I've gone off track and I'm using all sorts of colours now. I've mixed, instead of just using the brown, I've gone in and I'm not even cleaning my brush and just willy-nilly applying that paint, letting the colours mix together. Some of them mixed really well together, others end up a bit muddy. When I was collecting my papers, I was looking for double-sided papers to do my stenciling on, and I was only able to actually find 13 because I had a big clean up, and I think I might have dispatched a few of them to the recycling bin. I love the purple on that green then. And this is one of my favourite stencils, but it's starting to get a little bit roughed up. It's got a lot of little pieces in it, and you need to be a little bit gentle with it because they bend up, but it does make a nice pattern. And this is what I've come up with so far, so not too bad, not fantastic, still need a little bit of work on them. Some of the colour combinations are a little bit uncomfortable to look at. I'm just going to use some watercolours on the other side of those papers. On some of them, the watercolour paint absorbed into the paper really well. So, of course, it sits on top of the acrylic paint, which is what the actual gel prints have been done with. I had a bit of fun here with the paints and splashed it around, threw it all over the place, and used weird colour combinations, dripped and splattered, and generally had a good time decorating them. And you can probably tell that I'm not using any set plan or have any ideas in mind of what I'm going to put on these papers. It's just having fun, being free, and just enjoying the process of splashing the paint around and just to see what happens at the end. It's so liberating, and I mean, you go through stages where you think, oh, that's ugly, and then you chuck a bit more of something else on top of it, and it all comes together. And I like to mix colours that shouldn't be put together, like purple and yellow. And side by side they're fine, but they don't go well together, or they make brown. So Now I've got my metallic watercolours out, and there's 8 different colours I think in that palette. I can't quite remember, it's a little bit off camera, but I'm pretty sure it's 8. And all I did was got my water bottle and I just saturated the entire palette of colours and randomly picked the colours out of the palette to put on the paper. So yeah, do things with abandonment and don't think about the outcome, just enjoy the process, and I think it shows in your work when you do that. Alright, my papers have all dried and I've spread them out on my desk, and what I'm splattering them with now is my sloppy gesso. So there's a little bit of gesso in the bottom of a jar and lots of water, and I'm just using my fan brush to randomly, no plan in mind, just have fun and chuck the paint at the paper. And this is what I've come up with. And I love the way these look with all the white splatters on them. And if you want original, unique papers, this is the way to get them. I'm going to let this dry now, and then I'll come back in another video and do some more decorating on the other side of these papers and turn them into signatures for my junk journal for Dephemerember. For those of you who don't know, Dephemerember is a challenge run by Louisa Heinzel and Barbara from 49 Dragonflies, and it starts in December. So I hope you join me for the next video and then during the month of December as well. So I say thank you for watching, and I hope you're all safe and well and having a wonderful day, and cheers from Australia. Hooroo! See you in the next video.